Sharia is the body of Islamic religious law. The term means way or path to the water source because of the nomadic and desert background of the word. It is the legal framework within which the public and private aspects of the lives of the followers of Muhammad are regulated for those living in a legal system based on Muhammadan Muslim principles of jurisprudence as well as for Muhammadans living outside the domain. Sharia deals with most aspects of day-to-day life, including politics, economics, banking, business, contracts, family, sexuality, hygiene, and social issues. Since by definition, Muhammadan Muslim states are theocracies, the religious texts are the law for civil and criminal cases, as well as being the guide regulating the conduct of the believer, both personal and moral. Under Sharia, there cannot be a separation between mosque and state. Allah's law is not only supreme, but is also immutable, not subject to an iota of change, no matter what the circumstances are. Sharia is not a single code of laws. Rather, it consists of 4 sources that legal experts refer to. The first 2 sources are the Quran and Muhammad's Sunnah, and the other 2 complementary sources are consensus, ijma' and analogy, qiyas. Ladies and gentlemen, it is very important to be aware that Sharia law is based entirely on the alleged divine revelations of Muhammad's Quran and Sunnah, while the unrevealed laws are ijma' and qiyas, that are the ever-evolving interpretive law called fiqh, which means understanding and denotes the human interpretation of the divine commands. Fiqh is the scholarly interpretations that were derived from principles that evolved and became established over a long period of time and hence is not beyond revision, while the Quran and Sunnah are the unalterable basic codes. Fiqh deals with the observance of rituals, morals, and social legislation. There are 4 prominent Sunni schools of fiqh called madahib and 2 schools for the Shia. Muhammad's intention was that the community should be a single ummah and Sharia its common rules of life. After his death, however, party strife broke out under the successors, the Caliphs, 3 out of the first 4 of whom died by violence. Under the 4th Khalifa, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law, he married his daughter Fatima. The community was torn in 2. The legitimists, who held that the succession should remain in Muhammad's family and that Ali should have been the first Khalifa, have developed into the Shia sects, which are still in a minority group of 15% in Muhammadan Islam. The great mass of Muhammadans, however, 85%, represent the Sunni sects, ruled over at first by the caliphs of the Umayyad dynasty reigning in Damascus, and then by the Abbasid dynasty reigning in Baghdad, until the caliphate was taken over by the Ottoman Turks. After the death of Muhammad, Sharia continued to undergo fundamental changes, especially beginning with the reigns of Khalifa Abu Bakr 632-34 and Umar 634-44, under whom the Arabs were creating an empire and during which many matters requiring decisions were brought to the attention of Muhammad's closest companions for consultation. In AD 662, during the reign of Muawiyah bin Abu Sufyan, life ceased to be nomadic and undertook an enormous urban transformation which created conditions not originally covered by Sharia. Every change in Muhammadan society required new rules and regulations that played an active role in developing Sharia, which branched out into fiqh and qanun respectively. So-called believers and unbelieving kuffar, be aware that although there are serious differences between Sunni and Shi'i understanding of what Sharia rules are, there are no disagreements whatsoever regarding how to treat the female Muhammadan Muslims, nor how to treat people of other faiths under Muhammadan Muslim rule, the so-called Islamic State. Let me give you one sample example of how methodically and relentlessly Muhammadans insinuate their Sharia into the institutions of our democracies through many well-meaning but utterly ignorant leaders of ours. Last year, for example, in the United Kingdom, the Sharia ignoramus Archbishop of Canterbury, Dr. Rowan Williams, the head of the worldwide Anglican communion of 80 millions, without even bothering to consult women's groups dealing with Mohammedan Muslim domestic violence across communities, spoke in favor of Sharia. He said, "The use of the term Sharia conjures up images of a brutal, harsh, and inhumane legal system, characterized by amputations, beheadings, and stoning to death." Dear listeners, be aware that in fact these were the very images used as the background to a news report about his misguided, absurd, and totally out of touch with reality lecture, stating that Sharia would inevitably be incorporated into the British legal system. With such grim and sickening images of Sharia executions on the minds of the viewers, it is little wonder that the call made by Williams to consider ways of accommodating Sharia law in certain areas of dispute resolution, in particular family law in the United Kingdom, was received with such animosity. Archbishop Williams, either deliberately or out of total ignorance, either way, he acted with utter irresponsibility, did not acknowledge the fact that those brutal, harsh, and inhumane punishments are actually written into Sharia criminal law. He unfortunately did not do so, choosing instead to call them images or a grim picture, as if they were conjured up by uninformed people and not real. The frightening and misguided implication of his statement is as if they have no relevance to a discussion and debate of the subject of Sharia. Let us now take the bull by the horn and settle the matter ourselves as to whether Sharia does call for these brutal, harsh, and inhumane punishments or not.